Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this joint production brought to you by Paul Christian Spiritualist Church and the Spiritist Society of Bournemouth. This is another of our fortnightly talks on the psychological series of books by the spirit of Joanna de Angelis, which has been brought to us through the mediumship of the great Brazilian medium Divaldo Franco. Tonight, we're very much honoured to have with us as our guest speaker, Elsa Rossi. Elsa is known to you mostly, I think, as the president of the British Union of Spiritist Societies. Welcome to you, Elsa. Elsa is an international spiritualist lecturer. She has spent over 40 years as an active contributor to the Spiritist cause, and has written many books, many of them for children and teenagers. She has also written on poetry as well. In her leadership role, she is a former member of the Executive Committee of the International Spiritist Council, a former second secretary of that council, and is also a member of the Spiritist Society of London. Elsa, it is a great privilege to have you with us tonight. Before we start Elsa's talk, I would like to go over to Lawrence Saville, our dear friend at Paul Christian Spiritualist Church, for his opening prayer.
Thank you, Bob, and good evening and welcome, everybody. If you could just still your mind just for this short time, cast aside all your cares, your concerns, your worries. Link in with that divine energy that runs throughout all of creation. And give thanks for these times when we can all unite in beautiful fraternity, sharing our journeys, our experiences, same lives from different angles, and learn and grow from each other. And we place this evening in thine tender, loving care and keeping. And we know that throughout this night, we will have thoughts and ideas that will invigorate us, and sometimes make us question where we are. But everything is brought together under the umbrella of truth and growth. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Laurie. And now it's my great pleasure to hand over to Elsa Rossi for her talk entitled Be Happy Today. Over to you, Elsa.
Thank you very much, Bobby. Thank you very much, my dear Laurie. You both are a friend of my heart for some time, and I consider you both my brothers in Jesus. So, my dear friend, brothers and sisters, it is a great joy to be here with my dear Laurie and Bob once again. It is the second time that I am talking to Paul Christian Spiritualist Church, invited by my dear Laurie last year in May, and the first time online with the Spiritist Society of Bournemouth. It is a challenge to me, I confess to you all, talking about the work of our beloved Joanna de Angelis, Spirit, guide of Divaldo Franco. You know that it's not easy to talk as a subject, psychology, because it's something particular in psychology that each one of us take advantage of these beautiful and wonderful books to get these lessons for life. So I will mix some parts of the gospel, some parts of Joanna de Angelis, that brings to us some reflections. I'm not intended to solve problems or other things, but as far as I can, I will be with you all reflecting on that. I will ask my dear Laurie, please, my slides, if it's possible. Okay. As you can see, my slides are humble, simple, but easy for me to talk with you, seeing my slides. And this book, before I forget, is in translation, not translated yet. But as the lessons, the messages, the reflections took all my days and changed my life from so many moments that I decided to ask you, please be happy today with Joana de Angelis. All works of Joana de Angelis through the psychography of Divaldo Franco bring to us the light of transpersonal psychology, which was also brought by Carl Gustav Jung. So everybody knows Carl Gustav Jung. And here I can show you a beautiful painting of Joana de Angelis, and of course, our greatest psychologist of the entirety of my life, or our lives, Jesus. His lessons has been studying for so many philosophers, psychologists, and other kinds of academic fields that is easy for us to understand why life is a blessing. So I now would like to think, and I ask you to think as well. We are in a beautiful, large, immense circle, a room, a virtual room where everybody we are together. And I ask who here in this virtual room has already found happiness. If someone said, no, I found happiness for the entire life, I will stop my talk and say, yes, thank you, finish. Because it's really impossible in one life, one incarnation, to say, I am totally happy. Because some points of our life, we have ups and downs, and we have to deal with that. Okay? For a few seconds, let's to reflect on what we need to feel happiness. What you, my dear one, my dear two, my dear friends, what you need to be happy. I can see here Sue and other friends. Please think about what I need to be happy. Do I need more things? I have a car. I have one apartment. But I'm not feel completely happy. I would be happier if I had a country house, a beach house, or more properties, nice holidays, more time of the year, not only 2 weeks. With so many things that we put happiness outside, in other people, in objects, in goods, in other things. But I remember I just make a moment here to think about what Chico Xavier said to me many years ago. He said to me, when I was worried about to do things, to do this and that, running here and there, he said, Elsa, make it simple. Make it simple. So we have to think about, sometimes we complicate things. We should really have our things in a simple way that diminishes our stress, our problems, when we think simple, humble. We don't need a mountain of money to be happy. Sometimes we need only our salary, our wage for the end of the month, honest one, to be happy, to really to buy what we need to survive, to live in a better way. Sometimes of course, it's not easy sometimes to find a job, but in everything we have to say thank you to God. In everything we have to say thank you, God, because or we are having a lesson or a test or accomplishing our atonement that we rescue from the past lives. Everything has a purpose. It's not by chance that we have our problems, or I have my children with some problems, health problems, born with problems. Everything there's a purpose in our life. Okay? So now we can reflect on what Joana de Angelis brings us. All works of Joana de Angelis, through the psychography of medium Divaldo Franco, bring us the light of transpersonal psychology, which was also brought by Carl Gustav Jung. She makes it easier for us to understand about ego, how we can really know ourselves and work about our shadows, which every incarnated human being has. Also, She invites us to study important concepts such as psyche, self, individuation, and many other concepts. In the level or stage that we are all now, we must search for solutions in our soul development, a necessity of spiritual equilibrium of each one of us as a whole in humanity. As we are in search of a state of peace for our souls, existence, and well being to be able to grow. Otherwise, it's impossible to evolve in a way without suffering, pain, knowledge about everything, because we don't have a jump from one level of our school to another without learning all the process during the year. And people say, "Oh, but my life is a mess. Since I was born, my life is a mess." No, your life is not a mess. You think it, and your neurons under your command, they do what you are thinking with about you. If you say, I will have a headache this afternoon. I will have a headache this afternoon. The neurons will talk each other and say, "Oh, Elsa said she will have a headache this afternoon. We have to work on it. So I will have a headache this afternoon." It's not because the obsessors are around around me, and not because someone is against me. No, I am doing my future right now, 2 hours or 3 hours later. That is the life. But we are here to learn how to process these kind of things in our life. But our self process is the best thing, because the cure not come outside, come from inside of each one of us. So the messages that constitute this book, I show here, mine in my hand. As I said before, it's not translated yet into English, but soon. We pray for that, because I just love to have this book in your hands, that you can see this beautiful way to live a better life every day. So, constituted this book were written over a long time, aiming to approach distressing themes of each occasion, demonstrating that we always find the best solution when we stop to reflect around existence and elect higher moral conduct, as it is taught in the Gospel of Jesus. Who didn't know where to find a PDF or the Gospel according to Spiritism? We have in Amazon and have in our online website. Okay, you can find it there, because the last part of the Gospel is the chapter 28. It's plenty of prefaces. Each prayer has a preface explaining to us in a psychology way how to understand each prayer, how to do a prayer, how to say a prayer, how to offer a prayer, because prayer is they are guidelines for our life as well. So I, Elsa, have with me that all studies about happiness are well explained in this book, Gospel. Jesus, the great psychologist, wrote nothing, and those who observed his teachings can see in Joanna de Angelis' studies his psychology, as I said before. If we have time today, I will show some prefaces for you, okay? The chapter 28 of the Gospel. How close is with psychology from Joanna de Angelis. So this book that you are seeing now shows in the last cover, it was impossible to show the last cover because it was totally black, a true repository of precious lessons, reflections, and guidelines, so that we can achieve a full state of happiness if we know how to internalize and put into practice all the wise guidance contained therein, in line with the gospel of Jesus. It is composed of messages written during a long period, waiving considerations in the light of the Spiritist teachings about the most varied situations, some even likely to occur with any of us who, imperfect, still wander in the terrestrial proscenium. Thus, topics such as unforeseen events, friendship, healthy living, change, life's proposal, rejoicing and success, diseases, conflicts, exaltation of joy, and many others parade before us, requiring analysis and reflection so that we can understand the correct concept of happiness and then apply it in ourselves and in the benefit of all with whom we live. When you are agitated, even if you try to say, no, 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 I am calm, I am calm, I am calm, no, you are transmitting that you are not well. You can agitate everyone around you. When you throw a small stone in the water, in the lake or the river, you can see the waves. We do the same with our energy. We can be a humble, a simple person with kindness, using silence as a tool of happiness as well. Sometimes we use silence. When you see people quarreling, fighting, and you silence, put yourself aside, don't put yourself in the middle, and you can say a prayer, and in silence you can bring comfort, you can bring light, you can, so the situation will dismiss, and you can see this is happy because you are, as a charitable person, doing something good in every part that you are, and something like that happen. So we would like to start our reflective session now, our talk, with a small paragraph that I extracted from the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 6, Christ the Consoler, writing 7. As you see, the Gospel for me, I never say that is a religious book. No, because I cannot see religion in this book. What I see in this book are guidelines for a better life, to be a better person, to evolve my soul, to achieve a point that I can be a point of light around people. We can do that because we have our powerful thoughts to do that. We can transfer mountains from one side to another side with our thoughts, the mountains of our problems. But problems, as a lessons, we will all have. It's impossible not to live without problems because, but when as a wise people studying the gospel, reflecting a lot in these books, marvelous books that Joana de Angelis bring to us and other books, we can really understand how to make decisions, not speed up in decisions. We can, as Chico Xavier said to me, make it simple, Elsa. So I always, when I have to decide something, I pray before, I reflect a lot, I see pros and cons, and I decide later. So every time that I take a decision like that, I'm doing the right thing. Otherwise, we can do a cascade of and more problems, always complaining in our life, so that our friends are not even wants to be far from us because we are complaining a lot, because we cannot see. We are totally blind to see how beautiful we have in our souls. The light of God is inside our conscience. We have the light of Jesus in ourselves. He is the governor of our planet. He brought to us all these teachings that we have came from the source. Love each other and forgiveness. When you love each other, when you forgiveness, you don't have enemies. You don't have problems such, but you have lessons for life. Né? Our mistakes are lessons for life. So I am the great doctor of souls, and I have come to bring you the remedy that will cure the weak, the suffering, and the sick are my favorite children, and I am come to save them. He is our psychologist. when you have to do some therapy because you are under depression, you have a stress moment, you lost someone that you don't know where your beloved one departed, where he or she where they are. So you are really oppressed. So you can go to a nice psychologist or a counselor and talk to them, but they will not cure you. They only help you to find the root of your problem, because sometimes we are blind. We cannot do ourselves. We need these beautiful, wonderful professionals that bring to us to understand the life goes on. Some are spiritualists. They believe in spirits. So even better, because you can open your soul, open your mind, open your thoughts, and discuss and receive this help. Because these good people are also surrounded by the good spirits that are also all the time are surrounding us. Here, where I am now, where you are now, in your car, in your room, in your garden, or whatever, you are to have your breakfast, because I don't know where you are, the part of the world. Today is easy to go to Australia, to Japan, to Hawaii, to everyone, talk with the friends at the same time. I am having dinner, and in Japan they are having the middle of the night, nightmares, etc., and sleeping. But we are connected. We can help each other. We can exchange ideas. We are never, never alone. One phrase that you receive from a friend can change your day, can make your day better. So we have to be careful with the way that we are using our words. Our words are energy. Energy goes there. Remember, the ones that probably are here, Bob and Laurie, they are less age than me. But remember that when we have the story with the small squares, and the drawings are showing things, cartoons, and you could see that someone was thinking, and the artist, he draw snakes and things from your thoughts towards the other person. It's true. It's something that is really true. You can, with your thoughts, destroy things or elevate things or give a healing to someone, a distance healing, with your powerful thoughts. And we have this. And Joana de Angelis, all the time, she talk about shadows, about our sentiments, about our problems, and bring to us the solutions that we will achieve. The solutions never come from outside, come from inside. We will be there if you reflect, because everything is in our conscience. We have this hard drive, big hard drive, né? Each existence, we are adding more files and archiving these files and more files, and we are constituting what I am today. My personality is not only Elsa. I have probably more than 100 other personalities, and together molded in a way that I'm here today, talk with you in this way. And I love too much to talk. I have to say, okay? So come them to me, all who suffer or find yourselves oppressed, and you will be alleviated and consoled, Jesus said. Do not search for strength and consolation elsewhere, as the world is impotent to offer them. We have to search inside us, to go to our inner garden, to see that we have the shadows, to work with our shadows, live the way that the light that we have inside us is brighter, is bigger, and can even show this light toward our eyes, our kindness, our behavior, our hands, a gesture. It's so many things we can do from inside to outside and changing people's friends' lives, okay? It would be impossible. There would be no point to understand that Jesus had come only to encourage a religion in a corner of the world. The teachings of Jesus I have for myself, which is the only guide of spiritual psychology for the evolution of humanity, and that from which derives all the other apostles of the soul. So we have so many beautiful spirits, guide spirits, friend spirits, family spirits that are guiding us. It's up to us to listen, to feel them in our mind, in our thoughts. We are surrounded and guided more than we think. In Spirit's book said, we are surrounded by trillions of witnesses. Yes, we are. Good or bad, depend on us to connect, to plug here, to plug there. It's up to us. If you have every day malicious thoughts, bad thoughts, or envy thoughts, of course, we will attract, like attract light. We will attract the ones that are in tune, even if they are not our enemies, but they find the door open, can enter and do a mess in our spiritual home, our mind. So one of them, which this apostle that I said, apostle of the soul, one of that which brings us in deep to spiritual psychology is Joanna de Angelis, who enlightens the studies of Carl Gustav Jung, a psychiatrist who certainly studied with her in the spiritual world, and after being prepared, brought the light to the physical sphere, so that enlightenment leads the immortal soul. Enlightenment leads to the immortal soul. We have, so I think there are people, we know, like inverted commas, we know that there are people that they even has no way to read in poor cities, poor countries, in the belt of the big cities as London. Here, I think don't have the people that is an alphabet, but in Brazil there is a lot of people that even they don't know how to learn. We have to give to them evenings because they work all day long, né? Cutting this rubbish to recycle, to sell the end of the day. They have no idea about psychology, no idea about Joana de Angelis, no idea about spiritual world. They can guess, né, with their own intuition, but they have no way to read this book. When someone is starting learning and reading the book, for us is a, oh God, he did it, he made it. We are so happy that when someone is starting reading the books, okay? So it is indispensable that he who binds himself to any religious doctrine be aware that his must be a recent faith in which there are places for magic and superstition, fantasies or supernatural phenomena, miracles of occasion, and divine preferences. When I speak the word doctrine, don't you worry. A doctrine express body of knowledge. The word doctrine, I know that sometimes you have no use, but the translation from the books, the word doutrina in Portuguese, there is no problem at all. But in English, I know that you have to be careful. But it's a body of knowledge. So the fundamental role that it plays and clarifies the believer about how to behave in situations of testimony or natural pain, finding valid guidelines to continue on the path of good with their eyes, however, in the greater focus, which is immortality. The certainty that life, after the biological process of death, offers certainty and peace in the storms of existence that are overcome with lucid spirit and understanding. Whatever the human beings turns to, there will always be challenges to face, which are part of the evolutionary process. So we have, of course, this is a metaphoric picture. We have a huge stairs to happens, to happiness, to heaven. Is a huge stairs. Each step of this stair should be filled with knowledge, understanding why I'm here, where I come from, what I'm doing today to better my future, where I'm going tomorrow, after I die, where I'm going. There are questions and answers in the Spirit's book that bring to us all the information that you need for this immense and wonderful philosophy that is Spiritism, well explained in the five books by Allan Kardec. But I have a lot of friends from the spiritualist church. They used to study the medium's book. They used to study the spirit's book. And when I visit this church, as I love the Christian spiritualist church, they have Kardec books there that brings enlightenment for our souls. That's wonderful philosophy that is a bridge between us, right? So be happy today, whatever the human being turns to, there will always be challenges to face, which are part of the evolutionary process. The struggle, and therefore the climate of security for the encounter of fullness. Some days, however, are more difficult to face than others. We know that. When you think in your week, past week, or week before, you know that you the same day you smile a lot, you laugh a lot, sometimes you cry, sometimes you are upset, sometimes you decide not to stay in the crowded places, and you do what you want to do, but be sure, be humble, doing our best to keep our life simple is the best way. Detachment from the material things is a good way as well to evolve and do what one must do, that is using our love towards our beloved ones. There are friends that some or families that perhaps you, my people that are in our big room here in the circle, perhaps you don't speak with someone for so many years. No, I don't like him because 10 years ago he did something against me, blah, 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 blah. The person already evolved, the person is in another way to think, and you're still attached in your past. Go there. Make your first movement. Send a message. Call a little bit. Talk and say, oh, I miss you. I remember now so many good things that we did together. Don't say about your feelings that wasn't good, blah, blah, blah. That is the way that you can recommence a good energy towards you and put aside everything from the past, leave the past. But you can start a new beginning to a new way to live with your friends that you perhaps don't talk with this person so many years, né? Some days, other has the impression that all the disturbing issues have come together to prevent resting from tiredness or that harmony may be experienced. So we should understand that some perturbation we can create, but we also can dismiss it. We have this power. Our thoughts is a powerful tool. I always said we don't need to ask to everybody, oh, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. You can be your own altar. You can be your blessed place, your a corner that you can pray with yourself. You can change your life under a prayer. But a prayer is not a petition, petition, petition. Prayer is a conversation, is a dialogue. As you are conversing, talk with someone beside you, we can do that. Oh God, I need a better job. With a better job, I can help a lot of people. I can help better myself. I can work less here and help the homeless people in downtown, wherever you are. Né? Here is a Charing Cross that we work with the homeless in Charing Cross Tuesday evenings. But we can really modify our way to talk, to pray when we use the Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 28. There are beautiful book of a silver birch book that I was reading in White Eagle. There are two spirits that I like so much. Of course, I think the spiritualists know what these spirits are. They are wonderful, wonderful books from Silver Birch that I have here, and Faye is helping me to organize some slides with the Silver Birch teachings. Okay. When you least expect it, unimagined problems arise, creating embarrassing and disturbing situations. As much as there is commitment to its solution, more complicated ones present themselves, giving way to discouragement or revolt, depending on the emotional state of each one. On these occasions, despair is almost always taking care of energies, and psychological imbalance controls the conduct. In other circumstances, one experiences a state of loneliness that stuns, as if our friends were distant or had undergone a strange transformation that scares. In other circumstances, as I read before, everything can change according what we are using our powerful thoughts. We can exchange experiences that the loneliness one moment, and you can feel yourself that the loneliness can bring it to, for us or for me or for you. Sometimes we need to be alone, but not as a suffering. We have to be alone in order to reorganize our thoughts. Sometimes I like to be alone with my dog, you walk in the park, thinking about God, about life, about the beauty of life. Even when I have my daughter doing chemotherapy, we are all together. Say thanks God for that, for everything. We are not in despair. We are confident. We have hope, and we have faith. Faith is not a charity, religious things as well. Faith is a way that we are really understand and have confidence in the true life that we are undergoing today and forever, because we are eternal. God created us to be eternal spirits. We are not eternal as God is, because He is uncreated. God is. But God created us, our Father, our Creator, and God created incessantly. So we have to understand that we are never alone. When you feel a loneliness, that you are distant, that no one are here with me at Christmas time, I'd like to hear this and that, go to the phone, make a Zoom meeting with your friends, talk together, have a party, Christmas party with Zoom link today. It's so easy to do that. There are many devices, many programs that we can use to be in contact with each other. Go outside, walk in a garden, see the beauty of bees, the trees, the garden, the flowers, the colors, the clouds. Oh my God, the world is a blessing for our life. But Joana de Angelis continuing. There are occasions in which economic security fluctuates, affectivity is scarce, and there is the impression of total indifference of heaven to the urgent needs of the earth. Of course, we are in the middle or starting pandemic, almost 2 years now, but we don't know how long it will take. We don't know, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, and we still perhaps COVID-19 will be around us. But we will organize our life to live on that, but not blaming against God. There is no way to do that. We have to think that everything that happens in our life, in our planet, there's a purpose. Most of the time, we are the creators of our problems, not God. The consequences of our action reacted the way that come towards us, pains, sufferings, but we can have a pain, but don't need suffering. Leave suffering for outside. I make a compost for our plants, our trees, with my sufferings, internal sufferings, okay? So all these and others are natural phenomena of the terrestrial school, inviting the development of intellect and moral faculties, building self-improvement. As the photo said, I am improving each day. Of course, our cells are improving each day. Our skin cells is already not the same as the yesterday. So we are improving every day. We don't need to stuck in a problem that happened 10 years ago. My husband did this for me. I divorced. I'm still suffering because I divorced. No, move on. Go towards the light. Jesus is before us, waving for us. Come, my daughter. I'm here to save you, to cure you. But the cure means look at me. When you look at God in your conscience, you feel the difference. You are a believer. I am a believer. In the future will be a good future for each one of us. The medieval times passed. The cave times passed. And the future is waving towards us. And we must believe and do our best really to do that. When you are visited by any of these inevitable occurrences, do not be surprised or allow yourself to be dragged by discouragement or loss of faith, because it will be by following their paths that you have resilience and lucidity to equate them one by one. Invariably, people think that religious belief should be used as a miraculous resource for the loneliness of the illuminated difficulties or physical existence. This is a mistake because it has a balancing function in the face of issues that disturb the mind and shake feelings. Faith, in this case, is an anchor of the existing ship's safety. Keep it in a safe harbor. That's Joana de Angelis. So beautiful, no? So now I say to you, Joana de Angelis, who performs an educational experience of great value, has been in her various reincarnations a collaborator of Jesus. I ask Laurie, please take my slides off now. Thank you. The last one that she was incarnated occurred in Salvador, Brazil, from 1761 to 1822. Was a soror Joana Angélica de Jesus, becoming martyr of Brazil's independence. Before that, she lived in Mexico from 1651 to 1695 as Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz, and was the greatest female poet of the Hispanic language, a nun that was a poet. She had lived in the time of Saint Francis of Assisi in the 13th century, and in that appearance, she presented herself to Divaldo Franco in the Assisi Chapel, Porciúncula. Divaldo was giving lectures in Europe, in Italy, United Kingdom, Portugal, Spain, etc. And when he was in Assisi, giving lecture there, he visited the tiny Porciúncula in big, inside the bigger Santa Maria Maggiore, the tiny church. That's a chapel, no? A chapel inside this big church. And Divaldo, she presented it to Divaldo Franco as Clara de Assisi. Wonderful, no? To know that. She also lived in the first century as Joan of Cusa, a pious woman quoted in the Gospel, who was burned alive, alongside her son and others, in the Colosseum of Rome. To date, through Divaldo Franco's psychography, she has authored more than 60 works, 31 of which have been translated into 8 languages and 5 transcribed in Braille. In addition to these works, she has written thousands of beautiful messages. I don't know how much the time I have, but I can talk a little bit about the gospel that is in connection with the Joana de Angelis psychology studies guidelines. Okay, so in the gospel according to Spiritism, if you have the book, make a note and go thereafter. I will read only the prefaces. I have the gospel here, but I don't read all the prayers. You can choose the prayer that you want to read. But look, number 18, 1-8, preface. Look at that. Our bad instincts result from the imperfections of our spirit and not from our physical organism. If this were not so, then human beings would be exempt from all responsibility. Our betterment depends on ourselves because every person who has all his or her faculties has always the liberty to do or not to do. To practice what is good, the only requirement is willpower. Yeah, so you can see other chapters in order to understand better this information. You see, our bad instincts result from our imperfection of our spirit. So, when you have a child, and the child sees early age, months, even months, manifest things that you see, I have to work in this behavior as soon as possible. Yes, you have to. As a father, as an educator, as a guardian of the child or grandmother, we have to do since early ages to teach this child the way to behave, to proceed, to have a life. Because months, year, 4 years, 7 years, 15 years, if you live for later, the entire imperfections of this spirit will come and you see, oh my God, he was a child and now he's some thief. Why? Because you, as a father, a mother, as an educator, should, in the past years or since the baby was born, put attention in the education. Otherwise, of course, when they are teenagers, it's difficult to organize their lives the way that should be. We should teach in early age. The other preface is about afflictions of life. In so many books of Joana de Angelis, talk about these afflictions created by us or that we are bringing from past lives. Sometimes you have a resting, one life resting, not to pay all our debts from the past. And God is so merciful. We do a lot of bad things, but we are paying in installments. Each incarnation, we come with something to adjust in order really to proceed towards our evolution. This preface is like that. Is number 26, 26, preface. We can ask God for earthly favors, the same things in Joana de Angelis' books, and He will concede them to us when they had a serious purpose. We can ask everything. Of course, God, help me to have another car. Or I will be happy if I have another car. Oh God, I will be happy if I divorce and have another husband. We can ask many things, but of course, God knows our necessities and help us to achieve in accordance what we need to evolve. Even sometimes we pray, my goodness, my daughter has a cancer. I want my daughter to be free from that, to be free from that. Oh God, please, please, please. We ask as much as we can, but sometimes the cancer is the antibiotic for the soul, is a cure for our soul, is a blessing for our soul. As my husband, in his last incarnation here, when he was 47 years old, a cancer in the brain tumor, a nasty one, an invasive one, no cure at all. We try our best, but no cure at all. And the spirit came and said, his disease now is the disease that he is paying, inverted commas, payment, inverted commas, paying the last installment when he was going inside the church, mounted in a horse, killing God. We know that. It's happened many, many years ago, I mean, centuries ago in France, that time. And of course, he is an intelligent man, a humble man, a spiritist man, a wonderful man. My love for many incarnations. And this was for him a blessed disease, and he knew about it. And he passed away in a humbleness moment, surrounded by his family, because he wrote the moment of his death when he was departing, 5 p.m. Sunday. 5 p.m. Sunday, all the brothers and his sisters were around the bed, and he waved goodbye and stopped breathing. A month later, we already received a message saying that he was working with me in our charities, that I'm always working in charities, etc. And he's okay, blessed, beautiful, no cancer, no problem in his spirit. So, as says here, we can ask God for earthly favors, and he will concede them to us when they have a serious purpose. However, seeing that we judge their utility from our own point of view, and as immediate necessities, we do not always recognize the bad side of what we ask for. Who can see things in a better perspective and only desires the best for us may refuse what we request. A child asks you, Father, give me the lantern or give me the light. I want to use a fire. 2 years old. You never give to your child things like that. No, no way. So God, our Father, does the same with us. Just as a father would refuse his child what he knew would be prejudicial for him. If what we request is refused, we should not be disappointed. On the contrary, we should think that to be deprived of our wish is a test or expiation, and that our recompense will be in proportion to the degree of resignation we show. Our request, of course, as a recompense will be under the degree of what we need, and resignation. The other one that is linked with Joana de Angelis' talk, to ask for strength to resist temptation. Temptations, there's a lot of shadows inside us, or temptations to drink, to smoke, to sex, to stealing, or to do other things, no? Adultery, etc. And we have to think about it, to ask for strength. If you feel yourself in the position, I really love to drink, I want to drink again, or drugs, I want to a drug, etc. Resist it. Don't do it. Take care of yourself, of your soul, and go to the number 20 preface. Every bad thought can have two origins: our own spiritual imperfection or the action of a harmful influence. In the last case, we have the indication of a weakness that exposes us to these influences. And it is for this reason that our soul is imperfect. The one who fails cannot offer an excuse, the influence of a strange spirit, seeing that this spirit would not have led them into wrongdoing if they were inaccessible to seduction. This is the gospel that I'm reading in the last part. I will read the last one because I think our time is almost finished. It's Thanksgiving for obtaining a favor. Look at that. Givaldo Franco always says, we should, of course, be thankful for everything that we have. We ask good things for our life. We pray for our brothers and sisters. And we should thanks for the problem that we do not have, problem that we not undergo. That is good. The way to thanks God that I have no disease. Thanks God that I have no problem with money. I am a poor person. I don't need to take care to put the camera, CCTV camera, to take care of my house, my camera. No, thanks God that I'm free from that. So I invited you to read chapter 28 and the lesson 28 of the gospel. And I will stop here and talk to you now if you want, with a great pleasure. Thank you once again, my dear friends here. Look how happy I am now. I am surrounded in this room here, in this studio, with two English friends. This is December. It's a month of Jesus. Talk about the gospel. Joana de Angelis. I am a lucky person. I am a lucky person. Wow! Hooray! Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Bob. You
Pleasure,
are.
Elsa.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elsa. A very masterful, if I can use that word, masterful introduction to some very, very strong truths coming to us from Joanna and also listed out for us in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Well worth studying and actually acting upon in our lives. One of your last comments there is something which registers very much for me. I think a prayer of thankfulness is often probably missed out by many people. I suspect that many people's prayers, if they have a prayer life at all, is a list of requests. And I think being thankful for what we have, and indeed, as you pointed out to us, Elsa, being thankful for those problems and horrible things that we don't have to suffer is a very important way of realizing how grateful we should be and how blessed we are. I think that's an important lesson. You've mentioned to us many important ways of considering our relationship with God, our relationship with the world. And something I know personally that I need to do is keep things simple. The older I get and the more years that I live and the more that I read, I suspect I make things more complicated. And keeping things simple, as you so brilliantly pointed out to us at the beginning of your talk, is a key to happiness. It is a key to being more satisfied with things. It's a key to being thankful for what we have and not wanting and demanding and asking for more. And it's a way also of communicating more easily with God and communicating more easily with our loved ones. For those of you watching online, please put your questions in. Elsa is available to answer your questions. If you wish to put them online, please do so. I don't know if you can see any questions, Laurie. I cannot see any questions coming up at the present time.
Yep. There's a question
Yes,
here from
thank you.
Sue Townsend, and she's asking, Elsa, do you feel that humanity has largely forgotten the privilege that it is to have life as spirit in physical form here upon the earth? And we may choose to remember the joy of being alive as an eternal spirit.
It's a wonderful question, Sue. I follow you. I like your questions always. For me, for myself, I'm not a psychologist because I studied psychology for children when I was 17, 18 years old. I am 70 now, so it's totally different from nowadays. What what I'm thinking to say to you, according to what we are studying in this psychology book of gospel that I say psychology, is the way that God has a purpose for everything on our planet. We are having here between us, among us, higher evolved spirit that came from another planets, another spheres, that they are adding efforts to help our, especially now, our planet facing this COVID. There are a lot of people in needs, a lot of people that are more or less, we can say, forgotten by God, inverted commas, because never forgotten by God. Every person, every brother or sister that are in the shanty town, I used to go to shanty town, I used to work with them. My son worked in the middle of them in shanty town, providing a school for poor children that never went to downtown, never go to a big supermarket or a shopping center. But my son is giving to them a chance to know, but we are a tiny percentage of the humanity needs. We are doing for 100 children only in Curitiba, Paraná, Brazil. And there are families there that had no way to eat. We have to provide to help them with non-perishable food. But God didn't forget them. They are not forgotten by the higher spirits. They are facing difficulties according to their past lives, but we never judge. We don't say, you are in this situation now because you were a past life, a bad one, you kill people, etc. No, it's not our turn to do that. Our turn here is to serve. As Jesus as our model, and the Joana de Anjos is always teaching us, giving our best to others, we are receiving as a boomerang the best things towards us. It's the way that I can see there is no privilege. No one born as a rich person in a good house, a good family, because it's a privilege. God is good giving, differentiate children or humanity. No, there are law of cause and effect or action reaction, and this law perfect is a natural law, not good. God is not punishing us or giving privilege to us. No, it's up to ourselves as a human being to prepare my future. But there are people that they even don't want to watch spiritualistic things or spiritist things or religious things. The word religion, they are far from us. Oh, the word Jesus, far from us. Is up to them. One day, they will wake up. They will see the beauty of talking about be humble, be simple. Né? I'm not a minimalist totally, but I am a minimalist. Everything that I can give and donate to others, I do, because what the point to have some clothes that in 3 or 4 years I'm not using, or even 2 years? I have to give to someone because I don't use 10, 12, or 20 blouses. I can donate, I can recycle, I can do so many things. Né? We have homeless here in London. Now, on 15th of December, we will do a party with homeless in Shining Cross. So we are preparing good things for them: food, meal, hot meal, etc., and even clothes. So I ask my friends, if you have warm clothes, give to me, I will give to them. That is, I can say, a privilege to help. That is for me a joy of being alive as an eternal spirit to help others. When I'm serving, I am really, really, really happy. Bob knows because we're talking a lot about how to serve, how to be charitable, how to help others with accountants, with so many things that we can serve others to be happy. Because once you bring everything to me, to me, to me, you inflate your ego, you don't see outside. You are blind.
Thank you for that answer, Elsa. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, for the question.
We have another question here from Faye Waddington Ayres. She's asking, your description of Joanna de Angelis is one of a very active person in all her lives. Is she right in saying that?
Yes, yes. Remember, when she was Joana de Cusa, she wants to follow Jesus. And Jesus said to Joana de Cusa, you have me with you for always. Go and stay with your husband, stay with your family, and serve them. The husband was a nasty husband. But she has Jesus. Joana de Cusa was Joana de Angelis in Jesus' time, okay? He said, all her life she was improving. Even she never stopped studying in spiritual world. As Emmanuel, mentor of Chico Xavier, she continuing studying evangelical, because the word evangelical here is not sound good, but in Brazil, yes, studying the psychology of Jesus in the spiritual world. So Joana de Angelis as well. All this information that came to Carl Gustav Jung was probably inspired from Joana de Angelis, because the work of Carl Gustav Jung and Joana de Angelis, they are totally similar. They are the way that we understand better. The psychiatrist, Carl Gustav Jung, was a believer in reincarnation, afterlife. He did so many tests and with dreams and mediumship, etc. As Joana de Angelis. Então, Joana de Angelis, yes, still very active person. She just wrote another new book with Divaldo Franco. The previous one was Empty Lives. This was Plenty Lives. So she never stopped working. Thank you, Faye.
Thank you.
Sue just said, thank you for that beautiful answer.
Thank you, my sweetie. Acho que we can be the author of our happiness. Be happy today. Don't need it to be today, because every day is today. Tomorrow will be today. And the next day will be today. So we have to be happy today, doing our best today. Don't fuss with friends that I send 3 messages, three WhatsApp, she never answer me. And you imagine that your friend didn't like you, didn't want to talk with you, and perhaps your friend start with COVID, start with illness, or feel lonely. And it's another thing. Don't judge. Don't precipitate thoughts. Precipitating thoughts is a venom for our souls, because we can increase and make a history in our mind. The history go and go and go. At the end of the day, you want to kill your friend. It's not like that. We have to, my friend is not answering me. I will wait a little bit more. And I send a voice message. My dear friend, perhaps you are lonely or you are ill. Count on me. I'll be here for you. That's it. If the person see or not see, I sent a message 3 times for someone in Brazil, in Salvador, and the message didn't come. I will discover later that I was sending for the wrong number. Okay, was my fault. And so I didn't judge, because this is the way that I always say, almost every week. I say the same thing. Please do not judge. Judgment. When we are a judgmental person, we are doing wrong, because we always judge in the wrong way. If you see someone walking like that in the street, you are behind, you can say, the drunk person. No. Perhaps as a person that you are walking since early morning, try to find a job without eating. As this happened in Brazil, okay? I'm saying something that really happened. So you are judging that the person is drunk and the person is hungry, no food, no meal, and walk a lot, is the things that you have blood in your blood in your no sugar in your blood, the person is ill. We can say like that, and we can
Diabetes.
Diabetes. So if the person fall down, you say no, he's a drunk person. Go away. No. My son quickly go down and help the person. The person was walking since early morning. It was my son was 16 years old at that time. He's 50 now, and he helped the person. The person was diabetic and have convulsion because have no eat since early morning. So the other people in the balconies was judging. Don't go there. He's a drunk person. And my son didn't listen. The stairs, go down and help the person. The person was ill. Imagine our minds.
A very good illustration, Elsa, of the importance of not judging others. The title of your talk is "Be Happy Today," and it reminds me very much of my favorite psalm. Oh, be joyful in the Lord, all ye lands. We are meant to be joyful in the Lord, and if we have faith in God, that is the source of our joy. There's nothing to worry about. Worry is a sign that our faith is incomplete, or for some people, our faith is lacking totally. So it is an important thing that if we want to be happy, putting our faith in God, to be joyful in God, and no cause for worry, no cause for concern, no cause for cluttering our minds with this problem, that problem, tomorrow's problem, last week's problem. As you quite clearly said, trusting in God and not having clutter in our lives. Keep it simple.
When you have a clutter, you make your shoulder heavy. You walk heavy because you have jealousy, you have no sympathies, you have envy, you are a judgmental person. So it's impossible to be happy because your mind is like that, always seeing bad things everywhere. Oh, clean your mind, be simple, be humble. Oh, life is so beautiful. We can do that. We can do that, my friends, that we are listening here. Look at that. My daughter, as I said, is continuing chemotherapy treatment for more than 4 years. Everyone, we are so happy together. We talk about that. We don't put these things as a stone heavy in our shoulder. No, we are facing God. Everything in life has a purpose. We do not need to create more problems for us. We have to, of course, undergo what we have to do, our tests, tunes, atonement, etc., according our destiny that we prepare before incarnation. But we don't need to add more problems and not say, oh, I'm suffering a lot. No. If you have problem, okay, problem is here. How to organize this and free from this problem. I need to do this, I need to do this. Okay, I will do and do it. As a professional spirit, we can deal with our problems in a different way, not shouting, calling a friend, talking to 10 people the same problem every day, every day, every day. One day, the friends will be far from you because you are only complaining, complaining. Be happy today. When this book will be launched, I will say, Laurie, I want to your friends see this book because it's really a wonderful book. Be happy today. We can do that. It's up to us to trust in God, to follow Jesus' teachings as a psychologist, not as a religious. If you have to do that, you go to heaven or hell. No, there's no heaven or hell. It's a state of mind, but a conscience. But we can do our best to be happy as a humble person, as a silent person sometimes, and keep it simple every day. See around you how simple you can do, the better you can live. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elsa. I don't see any more questions, so I think thank you very much. You have a very good thank you coming up from Elsolyi Lindquist. Thank you, Elsa, for the great lecture. God bless
My
you.
sister from
I think
Sweden.
we all echo that comment from Sweden. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would want to point out before we close that our next talk in 2 weeks' time, on the 17th of December, will be with Rosandro Klingi and Anne Sinclair, our dear friend, and we look forward to seeing you then on this joint venture with the Spiritist Society of Bournemouth and our dear friends at Poole Christian Spiritualist Church.
Thank
At
you
this
all.
point,
Thank you.
we will hand over to Laurie to offer a closing prayer. And thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Elsa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Once more, dear friends, just find that peace, that divinity, the altar, the temple within, and offer up thanks. Thanks for this time, shared educating ourselves, shared listening, thinking, hearing, understanding, and questioning. For these times, this is when our soul shines. This is when our soul sings out with joy. To be on the eternal path of progression, no matter which light or window that we look through, all paths lead to the same source. And in and through this knowledge, we know we are truly blessed and thankful. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And it now remains for me to say good night, everybody, and may God bless you all.
Thank you to everyone who participated in this chat room. The big circle continuing. Facing God. Thank you.
Thank you.